Looking to me?
Yeah.
Thanks for not to camera.
Yeah.
So let's start. In ERA you have a philosophy of 4 players roles. Can you in brief describe them?
Well, it's it's not really a method, but it's like a way to communicate with the players and also with the coaches. So it's like you have every time when you play a game, you have these all roles are present. Like role number 1 is the player with the ball. Role number 2 is players without the ball but who are attacking. So there are the attacking roles, and then there's defending roles. Like role number 3 with the player who is defending the ball and the player with the ball, and role number 4 the players who are defending the players without the ball. So we use it like as a structure to give instructions to the players and also for the coaches to divide the game and communicate about the game. So it's like that kind of a structural thing, so to speak.
And how did you come up with the system of player roles?
Yeah, I think it's come from hockey. I think ice hockey, in Finnish ice hockey there have been lots of talking about the roles, and I think that's where it came from in Finnish floorball. And federation has used it also in several years now, and we are doing it also, and it's like in Finland I think it's a quite common thing to communicate through the playing roles.
And do you know how long have you been working with this system?
I'm not sure, maybe 10 years, not so much, maybe 5 to 7 years or so, but it's about that kind of period. Of course it came earlier than as for me, I took the roles when I was at the junior national team from 2013. I learned to because I had to check individual players, and it was for me it was like a new perspective. I used to coach the team, but then I had to make notice what the individual players are doing when I scouted them. So then I learned to use them better. So after that I bring it to the club like so bigly. Of course the coaches did use it before also, but after that we did it like structurally at the club.
And what are the advantages of this system?
I think the advantages are mostly that communicate. And as I said to the seminar in like half an hour ago, I think coaches often focus on role number 1 or role number 3, like they are focusing on the things that happen in close by to the ball, and of course 80% of the players are the players who are in role number 2 or 4, so it's easier to notice what they are doing also, and also give maybe more detailed information and detailed feedback for the players also. I think it's those are the advantage.
And have this system some drawbacks?
Well, not really. I think it's just it's not. I think the one thing is like a role system for itself. As I said in the beginning, it's not really a method. It's really like a structure, and often the coaches are presuming that the players understand like the same way as the coaches had been thinking of things, and that's why you have to, as a coach, you have to think of what you really want the players to do in each role. And I think that might be disadvantage that if the coaches are really presuming that okay, the players they should supposed to know what they have to do in each role, and they are using it as a method. Like it might be that, but otherwise I don't see that much of disadvantages of the system.
And how do you work with quick transition of roles during the match?
Yeah, it's lots. It has lots to do with anticipation. It's in every role you have to anticipate that if my role is changing, you have to think forward, and that's also one thing that if the coaches haven't really thought about the role changes, they don't really know how to coach them also. So you have to think of in role number 2 what might happen if you lose the ball, if something happens, and then the coach has to think it first. Of course the players also have to think it that, but I think the like the role of the coach is to help the players to think of themselves, and I think that's how it's easier to be done, that if the coach is demanding anticipation and thinking forward, the players are starting to do it, and then they know it on their own. So it's not really a given thing from the coaches to the players, but the players' own thing, that they really own the game, and they are really anticipating for themselves, I think.
And do you use video recording for this? If so, how?
Yeah, a lot. I think it's a lot of video thing. I think it's about the cultural changes, what we are doing right now at the club, and also maybe at the Finnish floorball. Also, I think lots of video things has been regarding in like some formation or form of the team, how we are defending, how we are attacking, and it's about the form, and it's about 5 players. But now I think it's more moving to this player is doing this kind of things, it's leading something, and the other players have to react to it. So I think it's like transition is going that way in recent years. I think that, and it's also I think video it's an excellent way of seeing things that what really is happening, because in every game player and the coaches have some idea of what happened, but video shows it clearly, and you can discuss, if you watch together with the coaches and the players, they can discuss it, and they really see that why are the things happening the way they did.
And in which category do you start with the system of 4 roles?
To younger players, as when they come to the club, but we don't really talk to the players that like you're in role number 1 or role number 4, but we are coaching the coaches, like the coaches has to know what means like role number 4, and players doesn't have to really at the beginning, but coaches have to know, so that he can give instructions, like defender, that when the ball is over there you can mark the player in front of the goal, when he's coaching the role number 4 then. But I think I know that some clubs and some think that there might be a heavy thing that you really are focusing on role number 1 only, but I think they are going hand in hand, like role number 1 and role number 3. If the role number 3 player who is defending is doing it good, the role number 1 player has to do it better, like if he wants to score. But if the role number 3 player doesn't have any clue what he is doing, then it's too easy for role number 1. And it's same like it's role number 2 and 4. But we are doing it all the way, like from the kid to adult, but like a focus is in different things. Like first it's focus in role number 1 and 3, and then little by little the focus is moving to the players without the ball. And I think we just discussed a few weeks ago with the coaches, and I think as older juniors they don't give that much instructions to role number 1 and 3. They give lots of instructions in role number 2 and 4, and so it's going in the system, like system wise. Yeah.
And do you think there are some roles most important for some age categories, or you try all 4 categories to all age categories?
Yeah, as I said, I think there are some, there are always, every role is present, but the players don't, it's too abstract to, if you instantly focus on roles number 2 and 4, I think. I think you have to start in role number 1, then go to number 3, and then little by little rise to, roles number 2 and 4, and it's like we just did as a club, we are building the coaching line, which is like contents on what we are doing in different age groups, and we had excellent discussions on this subject, and I think that's about it. That like we are like doing it all, but the focus is more on, at first, closer to the ball, and when players get older, the focus is moving to players without the ball.
And how do you work with the roles in your trainings?
My trainings? Well, I try to live as I learn. I teach. So sorry, but I try to focus on one role at a time, and try to build that kind of trainings that they are easy for me and also for the players to spot that what they are doing in each role. And I try to focus on details. I try to focus on one detail at a time. Like if I'm defending the ball, I try to focus on stick pressure and try to make that work. And it's like a step-by-step thing, and but I am using it in every training, no matter which team I'm coaching. Are they adults or kids? They are always present, and I'm using it all the time.
And if I ask you if you can give some advice to coaches how to plan their training,
yeah,
it should be this.
Yeah, I think so. But as I said at the conference, I think it's a clear path that first coach has to think about the game that he wants to play. Then he has to think about, well, okay, I want to play that kind of game. Next step is like which kind of things should the players be able to do in each role, and then it's easier when you have some goal. You and your other coach team have done, this is the goal that we want to bring the team, so it's easier to plan the steps towards that goal that you have thought. And I think the easiest way is like to plan good the trainings.